welcome back to your favorite podcast, Full Coverage with Manny, MUA, and
Laura Lee.
the one and only.
The one and only.
B.I.G.
Notorious B.I.G.
I feel like we haven't filmed in so long. It feels like strange.
Well, we haven't filmed by ourselves. I feel like we've had so many guests. So it's like
right.
we haven't sat down and filmed like a full podcast, just me and you. So today it's just me and Manny, MUA.
Oh, and it feels lovely.
It feels
It really does.
We have a guest. We have a guest coming for our next episode.
Literally. And it's a lovely guest too. It's going to be sickening and I'm very, very excited. But there's something really nice about it just being us two.
I know.
It just feels very like, You know that feeling of like, it feels easier?
It's easy.
Because I was like, I don't feel like I have to impress you. Not that I'm trying to impress our guests, but I'm just a little more like, let's have the conversation flowing.
Let's be relaxed.
I think about it more. But when it's just us, I'm like, hey, girly.
Whatever.
Girly pop.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Whatever happens.
Also, this tree has been a really big topic of discussion.
I've seen the comments.
So I'm going to move the tree. I'm just not moving the tree today or for the next episode.
But it looks so cute.
I know.
And it frustrates me because I think it looks so good and I feel like it fills in the space so nice, like you were saying. But I've been seeing comments that are like, damn, the tree's battling Laura's hair.
I don't care that the tree battles my hair.
It's the comments.
It's other people that care, not me. I don't care. I'm like, whatever.
Let it battle.
Let it battle. Let it happen. Yeah.
What else can we put there that would look good like that?
I don't know. We'll have to find like a smaller something.
A ficus.
A little ficus or something.
What's a ficus?
I don't know. That is what they call privacy trees where they grow in your backyard. A lot. Well, there's many strands of ficus out there, but.
Do you know why I said ficus, but I meant fig?
A fig tree?
A fake one. Like a fake fig tree.
Do you know what a fake fig tree looks like? I didn't think you did.
Thank you so much to Adam and Eve for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. You guys, who wants to spice up their sex life?
Oh.
I know I always do. And the best way to get started actually is with adamandeve.com right now.
So you guys can go to adamandeve.com. You can select any one item and just enter the code FULL at checkout. That's FULL, FOOL at adamandeve.com. This is an exclusive offer specific to this podcast, so be sure to use the code FULL to get a discount, 100% free shipping, and get it fast with rush processing. Code FULL.
But anyway, guys, before we start on our Peace and Piss, we're going to do rapid fire today.
Oh, yes.
And we have a ton of like random topics.
Little topics and little this and that's going on that you guys have probably heard about, but we want to dish on them.
We wanted to dive in. You guys know we love a little deep dive in our mini peaks and pits.
So what is your peak this week?
My peak this week is I'm going on a date on Wednesday.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise be to He.
We love to hear it.
We're actually filming on a Monday today, which is rare for us. We always film on Tuesdays. Filming on Monday. The date is on Wednesday. So let me tell you how we met. So I'm at the gym. Okay. As I know you would expect it from me.
And the way that Manny swears to God he doesn't go to the gym to find guys, the way he literally just...
I'm like, you guys, it's just for me.
Yeah, every time. And I'm like,
Right. The thing is, my gym has become so gay. There's so many gays there. I feel like your gym's been so gay. Well, see, the one I went to before, very gay. Equinox.
Okay.
In Hollywood, very gay.
Okay.
This one, I feel like it is, but still a lot of straight people go. Mm-hmm. But I just am noticing, especially the time that I go, it's just very gay. Like I've just noticed more gays there.
What's your witching hour?
It's during the day, like from 10 to 1.
Okay.
Very like not so much during the rush in the morning, but not like during the
afternoon rush.
Yeah, it's too much. So I try to go in that window. But I was working out and I noticed this guy, but I didn't like really pay attention to it because he was like far away. I thought he was kind of cute. He had really nice hair. Like he had like long hair. And I'm not even like really into guys with long hair like that.
Fabio.
But it was literally like Fabio like hair to here. And I was like, damn, that's some fucking nice ass hair. It was just like, he was very like beefy and it was blonde. It was giving like beefy Thor vibes to me. So I was like, this is nice hair. So I go on yellow Facebook.
What's that? Grinder. Grinder. I thought it was gonna be Grinder because their icon for the app is yellow, but I wasn't sure.
You're like, I go on yellow Facebook and I see him on there.
Okay.
And this is, I would probably say this is like a couple days after that because I just noticed him and I saw him. So I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, I just want to say like you have amazing hair. Oh. Like it's genuinely like so nice. I'm like, and especially because I have like more fine hair, I notice hair. Like that's one thing I am like, damn, like that's a good head of hair. Like I noticed that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you have really nice hair. And he's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then we just kind of started having a conversation. And the other day I was working out and he walked right in front of me and he looked at me and I was like, because like we had just been chatting from there, and I don't have a face photo. Like you don't know it's me if you're chatting with me on Grindr. When I have Grindr, this is when I have it. When I deleted, I don't have. I deleted. I have it. I don't. So he was like, hey, you. And so we started chatting, and he was super cool, super sweet. And he was like, we should hang out sometime. Aww. And I was like, oh, we should. I was like, let's go on a date. That. And I'm the one that was like, let's go on a date. Because I'm like, I appreciate when guys are like, oh, let's hang out. But I'm like, that's too loose. It's too loose for me. And I think that as I've gotten older, I'm like, I need more definitive. I
feel like let's hang out can quickly be a let's waste our time.
Let's be friends.
Let's waste some time and be friends.
Yes,
whenever it's not what you're. So you try to be more clear.
That's why I'm like, let's go on a date. And so he was like, yeah, I want to go on a date. So he would, that's what he was saying. He just didn't say it. So I appreciate that. So now fast forward a couple days, our date's on Wednesday.
Oh, you haven't gone yet?
No, we haven't.
You're going on one.
So I'm a little like nervous, but I'm excited.
I thought you were about to tell me all about the date for some reason.
Nope.
And I was like, normally Manny tells me after a date that he's going on a date.
You're like, why is Manny starting with the preface this far back? No. I haven't gone yet.
I just thought you'd went, okay, how exciting.
So I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm very intrigued by it because he seems really cool and like, I liked his vibes. I liked his energy. And he was very sweet. He had like this really sweetness, but like looks like, but so sweet. Yeah. And I love that.
Right. Oh my God. So I love that. I love that. I'll be needing some pictures.
And I'm going to show you a photo. You know what? I'm going to show you right now.
Yeah. Let me see so I can
I'm going to show you right now while you're thinking about your fucking peak.
That peak.
I want to just show you. I don't follow him or anything, but I did a little stalking and I did find him.
You have to.
As you know, I would.
You have to stalk.
This is what he looks like.
Let me see. He looks very straight. So he's Manny's type.
But he has a very just like chill
I think
demeanor.
He's so handsome, bright blue eyes, sick tattoos. I like his
6'2".
style. Knows how to use chopsticks. I'm into it. A talented man. I didn't learn how to use chopsticks till I moved to LA. So I find it very talented if you know how to use chopsticks. Like it will impress me. And I know that's kind of like bare minimum stuff, but I'm like, wow, chopsticks.
You can do that. Good job.
Mean, it took me forever to learn because in Alabama, like no matter what Asian restaurant you go to, they're going to give you a fork and they're crippling you. But in LA, you don't. You can always ask for a fork, but I'm not asking for a fork. I learned.
And you don't want to be like.
And you know what's so crazy? My husband taught me, which I think is so sweet because Ty is really good at anything. He really is.
Was it like a really like sexy, like you're using it and he's like, let me come behind you and then he show you how to do it?
He's like, Laura, you're still holding it wrong. Hold it right. It was more like that. And he did the same thing with Erin. Erin's way better at chopsticks than me. Like she can pick up anything with them. She's so good, but he taught her so young. So he taught us both.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Me thinking that he's behind you like, babe, this is how you do
it was more like him yelling at me because I'm embarrassing him. More of one of those.
You're not going to ask for a fork.
But I like that you thought that.
Yeah. I was going to the romantic vibe.
No, we've been together for 14 years. So we're very honest with one another.
Get your fork together. Get your chopsticks together.
Get your chopsticks together. So my peak this week is a great one. I guess it's a great one. Ty's dad had heart surgery. Surgery went great. By the way, all is well. We are so
We did
thankful.
talk about it, so it went well.
Just to follow up, it went well. And most importantly, that's what I'm grateful for. So Ty was already in Alabama for a while visiting his dad. Then he went to North Carolina for a while. Then he went back to Alabama. And I was like, I'm just going to take a red eye and meet you there.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see his dad when his dad got out of the hospital. Because whenever he was in like in critical care unit, whatever, you can't like let more than 2 people in.
Got it.
And he's still got a lot of family. And I'm kind of like an in-law. So I was like, I'm bottom of the totem pole. And I understand that. So I'm like, I'm going to wait till he's about to get released and then I'm going to come by so I can actually see him and hang out with him. So, and it worked out perfectly that way. But while I was there, it was such a quick trip because we have another trip planned there. So I didn't want to take a big trip this time. I don't know. It's hard. I have to divide up my time. But my sister was like, am I going to see you? I was like, I don't know. You guys, I've only seen my sister one time since she's been out. And, we're rebuilding our relationship right now. She's like, I really want to see you. I was like, I know. We text every day, but only seen her one time. So
Which is so cute to me.
I know.
'Cause you guys have such a different relationship. Like, for as long as I've known you, I feel like I've been through ebbs and flows with you and your sister. So it's really nice.
The relationship has hit the darkest of moments, the non-speaking for years, and the brightest of moments. Yeah. So our relationship has just been, I mean, if you dealt with anyone who deals with addiction, most of the time those relationships get real funky real quick. And ours definitely has seen some dark times.
Yeah.
So it's really great to be able to kind of rebuild that. And so she came and visited me, and she stopped by Ty's house. She wanted to see Ty's dad anyways because our families are really close. And when she was there, we like ran to get food real quick. And when we were out, we had some time, and she's like, do you want to go? I was like, let's go run by and look at the house we grew up in. Like, let's go stop by it. And so we did real quick. We ran by it, and then we pulled up, and we used to have this huge ditch and woods that we would play in our whole entire childhood. And then we looked at each other. We're like, should we get out and go into the woods and the ditch? And she was like, yes. So we did. So we were all back there. I took a ton of pictures. I was like, oh my God, I thought I would never see this place ever again in my lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, so crazy. And so we did. And then whenever we were walking out of the woods, some man's house is close to the woods, and he was standing out in his front yard walking towards us. And we were like, oh shit. And my sister's like, hey, we grew up here. We're just trying to look. I was like, oh God, she's telling them too much information.
You're like, no.
I'm like, okay, we're just leaving. And he's like, oh, I thought y'all had lost something or were looking for something back there. Because he was like, I was wondering what y'all were doing back there. And my sister ends up talking to him forever out in the woods. Like, he comes out there, us three are talking and reminiscing. He's talking about how he lives right here and he loves it. And then we were like, well, we grew up here. It's probably 20 years ago. And he goes, oh, my neighbors lived here for over 20 years. He must know who you are. And the neighbor literally pulls up from work.
At that moment.
Yes, at that moment. And so he gets out of his truck and he's like, hey, come over here. I'm like, this is giving Alabama.
This is Alabama right here.
So the neighbor joins in, and then we were like, I'm like, I know you won't remember us, but I can tell you our last names. You don't remember the Lees. They used to live here. And so the neighbor's like, oh, I remember y'all. And he was like, there were 3 of y'all. And we're like, oh my God, yes. And then he was able to name all the neighbors. So it's just like the 4 of us stood there for like 30 minutes talking.
That's so cute.
I don't know. It was such a cool moment.
Very nostalgic almost.
Very nostalgic. And then we also rode by the house that I moved into after high school with a bunch of girls. And it was really awesome. I couldn't even remember which street it was on, but my sister remembered more than me. So she was able to take us there, and it was really cool because that was the house I started my YouTube channel in.
That's when you had the roommates.
Yes.
Did you have the crazy roommate there?
You know, a lot of crazy. A lot. It was a lot of
craziness,
drama,
a
lot of drama, if you will, which typically happens when you have a ton of people living in a party house. And like we were like some of the first people out of high school to like get our own house, so of course everybody came over there all the time. But we had so many good memories. And actually one of my roommates DM'd me, and they're like, oh my God, that house. I was like, how much did we pay for it? Because I couldn't remember. And she was like, it was $600 for us 3 to split. We split.
So it was like $200 each.
Yes. But the house was rickets. No washer, no dryer, no oven, no stove.
Oh.
We were living out of an ice chest. Terry, which I didn't even remember. Tyler's mom, when I was showing her the picture, she goes, do you remember you didn't have a refrigerator and y'all had all your food in an ice box and we had to give y'all our refrigerator and go buy a new one? I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. We couldn't get the fridge in the door because it was so small. We had to take the doors off the fridge to get it in the house. So
that's crazy.
I know. I forgot about all that. And then my roommate was like, do you remember the infestation of cockroaches? Which I actually had a mouse that lived in my room there too. It's just like your friend. Yes, literally.
It was Cinderella. It was the little one. Gus
was repulsive, and people are like, you should buy it and renovate it. And I'm like, do you know
the trauma that has been
in the neighborhood that house is in? I mean, it is in a
neighborhood.
It's in a neighborhood. So I'm like, no, better not actually. Better just leave it like it is, where it is.
Let it lie.
We're going to let that house lie. We're going to let it be what it is. In a perfect world, yes, it sounds like such a cute idea and like a full circle moment, but the reality of life, it's not. So it would be a sad investment. But it was really cool to see it and all and spend time with family, which is something I literally never get to do. So, and get to, be with my sister a little bit and all that. So it was really good.
I love that. I feel like it's very grounding to go back home, to be like,
It is.
almost like a reset, you know? And it's like, it's
Yeah.
nice to kind of get out of it. Like we talked about all the time. Like, it's just nice to kind of get out and do something else that's not so in your world, and do other things and be like, oh my God, it's nice to go back home or do things with family and just kind of like kiki for a second to detach, because you're not really focused on your content when you're there. You're focused on
not at all.
yourself, your family, the people that are around.
It's nice that I have that too. It makes me so happy to not be born and raised in Los Angeles.
Totally.
To like, because I feel like I have a whole other life that I do get to go back to and turn off and like enjoy. Whereas I feel like if I was born and raised here, it would all be a melting pot into one for me, and like there would be no disconnect. There would
100%.
be, you know what I mean? And Alabama gives me things that LA cannot. And it's just like certain places I can go there, and the lakes and like the
Like boiled
people
peanuts.
and the bold peanuts. We call them bold penders.
Wait, what's that?
Bold penders.
Bold pin? Is that what that?
That's like
That's
a
what it
really
is.
country way of saying bold peanuts. Go get you some
That's a new one.
penders.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, so you go to I don't know, it's just like so much there that LA just cannot offer me. And
Yeah.
it's like nice that I have another world. You know what I mean?
I want you to come back every time, and I want you to have your Southern draw like drawn out so long, and I want it to be just like, hey y'all, like I want just like that Southern twang.
Every time I go back, I talk
comes
like
back.
they do.
Totally.
And it's because when my sister starts talking to me or Tyler's parents, like I
It comes
talk
back.
like they talk because it comes right back immediately. Now, if I went back there and I was around LA people only, I probably wouldn't, but it's the
Sure.
people. Like I
Yeah.
literally, it picks up so fast, but I've lost so much in the 8 years I've been in LA.
And then when you come back here, you're around all gay people. It's like, hey, hey y'all, hey girly, gotta. It's like, hey queen. It's very that.
I feel very blessed to have two lives though.
I know it's so.
It's
it
nice
really is
because
nice
you get to take a break from each life.
I feel like that's how I feel with my San Diego
Yes.
life too, because it is very different from LA. It's SoCal, but it's such a different vibe than it is Los Angeles. Los Angeles is like,
Yes.
there's nothing like it.
And
really.
so crazy. Manny is like from Chula Vista. That's where you grew up. That's where your family lives. And I was talking to my grandpa, which that's
my
for
God.
another episode.
Yes,
That's
you're
for
right.
a whole nother episode. But my grandpa was in the Navy and he lived in Chula Vista for a while.
I was gagged when Laura told me this. I was like, Chula Vista. Like you don't really hear a ton about Chula Vista. Like I don't hear that.
I never heard of
And
Chula
you never
Vista.
heard that your whole life.
I never heard of Chula Vista. And he called me the other night. He's almost 90 and he literally called me at like 11 o'clock. And I'm like, Grandpa, why aren't you asleep? But that man don't go to bed till 1 a.m.
No, he's a man after my own heart.
Yes.
For real.
You can catch him in the clubs, okay? And I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm not
He's
even
gonna live
kidding.
to be 1,000.
He really is, because he also doesn't drink or anything like that. But anyways, I was asking him all the questions because I'm scared he's going to be gone and I'm not going to know anything.
Like not enough information.
So that was one of my million questions for him because I had a ton. And he told me he lived in North something in Chula Vista.
Park.
North Park and Chula Vista were the two places he lived.
North
Yep.
Park. I remember North Park is next to Hillcrest, which is the gay area of San Diego. So that's how I know North Park like well.
Got
very
it.
close. It's very like indie and kind of like
Hipstery, up to
chill.
date. Like, yeah, those vibes.
low key getting gentrified all the time.
Got
very
it.
that.
Got it. So that's my story.
I love that. And now we're on crack.
And now we're all on crack.
And now we're on crack. Thank you so much to Adam and Eve for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. You guys, who wants to spice up their sex life?
Oh.
I know I always do. And the best way to get started actually is with adamandeve.com right now.
Adam and Eve is actually offering you guys 50% off just about any item plus free shipping with rush processing. So that is so awesome. Also, they have an endless plethora of items to spice up your sex life as well as discreet shipping.
We love the discreet shipping because I feel like it really does allow for privacy. And, you know, they make privacy a priority, which I think is very, very, very important, which I personally love. And I've bought things from Adam and Eve myself. And I'm like, I know it's going to come in discreet packaging. I'm not going to feel awkward when my assistant gets the package. It's going to be lovely, you know? So I think it's absolutely amazing. And I love a good free shipping.
So you guys can go to adamandeve.com. You can select any one item and just enter the code FULL at checkout. That's FULL, FOOL at adamandeve.com. This is an exclusive offer specific to this podcast, so be sure to use the code FOOL to get a discount, 100% free shipping, and get it fast with rush processing, code FOOL.
Okay, so the next
Pits.
Oh my god, our pits. We're gonna have a joint pit today, you guys.
With my
What did I do?
What?
Oh my god, I thought you were doing this, looking at it, and I was like, I dropped the mic again.
No, I was going
Or I literally remember when it went
and ripped the mic off.
Yes, and I was like, I did it again. Okay, guys, we have a joint pit this time, and it's literally about TikTok. Are y'all seeing what's going on about TikTok?
No. Because every time I talk about it, people tell me a bunch of false information that isn't true. So I'm like,
no one knows.
You're taking a grain of salt that was fed to you to believe and running with it, guys.
100%. So basically, like, for a long time, TikTok has been like under fire because it's from China, right? It was created in China. It can be a huge, app here in the US. And for a long time, the government has just overall been like, we feel like it's a invasion of our privacy. Like they're collecting data from us, et cetera, so forth. And so recently there's like the follow up of potentially TikTok actually getting banned for real. Like things are like really moving along to where it could potentially be banned. And I'm just like devastated about it. And Laura is too. We were talking about it and we're like, but we really like TikTok.
I feel fortunate that I didn't build my career on the app. Because I had no idea this was going to happen. But the problem is so many people have. And it's people's livelihood that's on this app. And I'm talking thousands and thousands of people's livelihood on this app. And it's interesting because at the end of the day, a lot of this is corporate greed. Facebook and Instagram, aka Meta, they cannot keep up. They cannot figure out the algorithm. And they're getting absolutely obliterated by this app and the app's algorithm that they cannot figure out how to copy. They have all the money in the world. They have all the resources in the world, but they still cannot figure out how to copy the TikTok algorithm. So they're hurting. And I think if things keep going the way they go, I don't know that I think they'll barely exist. And I think they know that too. So of course they're campaigning very hard to get this app gone. And they've said a lot of interesting things such as, oh, it's a China app and they're tracking us. But it's interesting that they don't bring up the conversation that Instagram and Facebook is tracking us. Right. And also the people who have a problem, they're like, well, that's America tracking us. I get it, but it's like, why don't you care that they're tracking you? Because the people are like, I'm not downloading TikTok because they're tracking us. Why do you have a Facebook and Instagram if being tracked is... Why
do you have an iPhone?
Why do you have an iPhone? You know,
why have anything?
Yes, because technically it's been put out there that all those things are tracking us. You know, so basically... Donald Trump wanted to ban TikTok. President Biden wants to ban TikTok.
Seems like everyone in the government wants to ban TikTok.
Because of corporate greed. What it boils down to is Meta cannot keep up with TikTok, so we got to get rid of it.
100%.
And
it's crazy.
That's an interesting concept. So it's like, so if this is how we're handling things whenever America can't keep up, it's like we just screw the people, just ban it. You know what I mean?
You know what I've seen like that? I feel like this is like a conspiracy. And it's a conspiracy. This is very conspiracy. I feel like a lot of people are like, what I've seen, and I'm like kind of like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, is that people are saying that because TikTok has allowed for Gen Z to be so open, to learn so much, to be able to do so many things with the power of Gen Z, the government's like freaked out by that. And they feel like they can't control the youth that's coming up because because it's TikTok, and so you can see so much so quick, and it's not a US app, it's a app from China. And it's like, damn, this app from China is allowing so many voices to be heard, which is like kind of the gag when America is the freedom of speech state. Girly, come on. So I've just been seeing a lot of it, and for me it like was kind of like making a lot of sense because I'm like, damn, you know, a lot of the generations before us set in their ways. Millennials not set in their ways necessarily, but definitely kind of like Gen Z is more like open.
Gen
than
Z
millennials are.
Millennials have changed so much.
Because of Gen Z.
And then Gen Z is literally exploding everything because everything the government's been able to control, everything the government's, you should work a 40-hour work week. You should have children. You should not revolt. You should have children young. You should believe in this religion and this religion only. All those things are getting blown up in the United States by, I think millennials started it. And I think Gen Z said, hold my beer and took it and said, let's do it, bitch. And they are literally changing the world.
Yeah, and I think that the government's scared about it.
And they have in America, there are over, listen to this, 100 million people. They're predicting up to 150 million, but 100 million people that are actively using TikTok. That ain't just have accounts. That's people that are actively on the app day in and day out.
Which is insane.
That's insane.
That's such a huge freaking number.
So they want it gone.
So that's how I feel. I feel like when I'm seeing on these, because it's something I've seen, I'm seeing it all over my FYP. I'm seeing because Instagram now is after they see this going on, Instagram's algorithm has changed. They implemented different kind of changes that are going on. And it's about they want 6 stories a day, 2 at night, 2 middle of the day, 2 at in the
Instagram
morning.
Instagram has lost their mind.
They lost their damn mind. No more rev share on Reels. They've done these they want you to post photos every single day. They've lost their freaking mind. And a lot of people are saying the reason that they're implementing these is because they think that they're not going to have to compete with TikTok anymore. Well,
also, this could be rumored. I don't know how factual this is, but it has been said multiple times that TikTok has now turned off all their monetization on Reels because they... On IG Reels. Yeah. What did I say? TikTok? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, IG.
IG has turned... So you got me again.
Wait, Laura,
thank God one of us hears it. Because I could really confuse people out there. So thank God you heard that.
Oh my God.
Because I would have literally been saying the opposite of what's happening.
Oh my goodness.
So Instagram has already turned their monetization off of Reels because they are so confident that TikTok's going to be banned. And so there's not going to be any more competition for them, which makes me so angry that...
I'm oh my God.
Corporations get to control the country. You know what I mean?
And the media, they're controlling the media, which essentially is controlling the country. If you control the media, you do control so much.
Yeah.
You control people's perception a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so the reason why TikTok is so cool is because you do get to see these difference of opinions. You get to see so many different things out there, different lives, different things going on. And it's not it doesn't feel like propaganda coming from the United States. It feels like you're connecting with random people's lives.
Real people.
Yes.
Real people.
And that's not the same. It's just not the same thing with the other
I'm just concerned for all the people who have put in 4 or 5 years on this app, as they rightfully should, and build an entire career out of nothing. Some people had nothing and they built a whole entire livelihood off this app, and it's just getting snatched right out from under them over corporate greed. And I know people are going to argue in the comments, it's not corporate greed. Believe that. But I'm going to believe this because...
This is our opinion.
I'm going to say my opinion on my podcast. And what it boils down to is Meta can't keep up. And I know they're probably want to slap me. They're going to delete my Instagram account. But I'm how lazy can you be to have every resource on this God-given earth to create a similar algorithm, and you can't do it? So your way of fighting it is to get the app banned. So
no, it's to take from everyone else. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
Instead of being the strongest, let's say, photo sharing app they were for so long, instead, they wanted to get from everyone. They implemented stories from Snapchat. They implemented Reels from TikTok. They implemented video from YouTube. They implemented all these different things from different platforms, trying to be the best one. They're scrambling now.
They're scrambling. They're literally scrambling.
And it's crazy to me.
It's just I do think majority of people will go back to Instagram if they delete TikTok. And that's what's so unfortunate, because wouldn't it be nice if there was another app that wasn't in no connection with Meta whatsoever that was swooping and replace TikTok? But what would happen then is Meta would buy them out.
Literally.
So then Meta would own it, and it would still be a win for them. And they want to control it. So it's a doozy, guys.
It really is a doozy, because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Biden can delete the app whenever he's ready. He can. He has the right, because he won in the court system. Yes, he won in the court system, and so can any president after Biden. Doesn't matter. This isn't a Republican or a Democratic thing, because Trump tried to do the same thing.
It's a government thing.
It's a government
The whole
thing.
government doesn't want, like, you can't even have, like, government phones can't have TikTok on them. Like, they're so against, no, you're good. They're so against TikTok that they're like,
It's just interesting how many people don't care that Facebook and Instagram track them.
Do the same exact
That's just
thing.
very interesting to me how much people like don't care about that.
And it's like, girl, if that's what the argument's about, like, I don't want to be tracked, I don't want information out there. Baby, your information's already out there.
Why do we care if you're letting yourself be tracked on Instagram? I don't know. So I guess that's it's like, I don't know.
That's where mine goes too. I'm confused by it. I'm like, if 2 + 2 is 4. And then what the fuck is this?
I'm like,
That's what this is.
I'm like, but do you have Facebook, Instagram? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And then that's it. Think about that. Think about that. So that sucks because I do feel like you were saying, it's going to be really shitty for people who have built amazing audiences on TikTok. I feel like we've built great audiences on TikTok too. And I'm going to be really bummed to like lose out on that because I love my TikTok fam too. And I know you do too. Because it's just such a fun thing. I feel more free on there in some capacity. I don't know what it is. I feel so much more like I can be more me.
Yeah.
Because it's like fun, kitschy and cute and like whatever.
It's just an all-around great app, and it's for the first time we've been able to share and see each other and learn more than we ever have. So corporate greed's going to snatch it out from under us like a rug.
Like they always do.
Like they always do. But that's our pit. It's a controversial pit. It's a pit that people are not going to agree with us on. It's a pit some people will agree with us on. Some people will be like, we need to delete it immediately. And some people will be like, no, don't. And we get that in this conversation. We understand, like, not everybody's going to like what we have to say about it, but I'm going to talk about the research that I've actually done and what I understand, what I believe.
You know, and I think that to a lot of people, I talked about it, I just posted a screenshot on my stories today of just me being like, I can't believe like TikTok could go away essentially. And a lot of comments were like, you know what? I'm glad about it because I'm so addicted to TikTok. Yeah. And I'm like, I understand that conversation, but to punish everyone else
because you're addicted to
TikTok, that's not fair.
It's not valid.
Delete the app off your phone.
Yep.
And that's fine because like even my brother who once told me, he's like, you know, I'll like go into bed at 12 o'clock and I'll be on TikTok and I'm on there till 4 a.m. So sometimes I'll just delete the app by because I will fall into the TikTok trance. And he's like, I had to delete it because I knew I was like, okay, I can't get sleep. Like I'm like so worked up from the TikToks that I can't fall asleep. And he's like, but I have to delete the app. And I'm like, okay, well, see, like that's a normal person being like, I recognize that I might be like falling into a trap here and I'm going to delete it.
Right. Instead of being like, no one should have it because I'm addicted to it. You know what I mean? That's
such a like about yourself mentality. Be like, oh, well, no one should have it because I'm addicted.
And it's going to help my addiction. Yeah. So ban it. Like, yeah, that doesn't even make sense.
So I remember him telling me that. I was like, I didn't know that you could be so...
So the logical thing would be to...
Very logical.
And it's like, if you have an issue with the app so much, don't download it.
Don't download it. Cool. Don't have an account.
I mean, you probably have Instagram, Facebook, but don't download it. It's that simple.
You probably watch Reels, but okay.
Okay.
You probably watch Reels, but that's fine.
Sometimes when I upload a Reel, I'm like, what am I doing here? Just kidding. You know, I do. I'll admit, I put like... not nearly as much effort into Reels because I find myself enjoying TikTok more.
Same. And I love the comments on TikTok.
And
that part's fun to me.
I know. It's such a community over there. It's such a community over there. So it's a good app. We'll see.
We'll fill you guys in because this is something that's very fresh.
It is fresh. Yeah. It's a fresh one. Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode of Full Coverage. Thousands of medical professionals on ZocDoc are there to help you. They listen like a friend and give you the expert care you need. So it's really interesting because I feel like people look up reviews on restaurants and everywhere they go and do and stores and people, but they don't look products before they purchase them, but they don't look up reviews on their doctors, which is one of the most important things to do.
Do you know what I do? I feel like I tend to go into like a medical rabbit hole if something's wrong with me. So like, for example, if I get a headache, I'll go into this like weird rabbit hole of trying to find out what my symptoms are. And then I'll like literally go crazy on myself. And I feel like, you know what? There's better ways to get answers. And I feel like that way is ZocDoc, which is, hello, providing trusted professionals and not random people on the internet and my rabbit hole that I'm searching.
I love that. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun.
No more doctor roulette or scouring the internet for questionable reviews. With ZocDoc, you can have a trusted guide to connect you to your favorite doctor you haven't even met yet. Millions of people use ZocDoc's free app to find and book a doctor in their neighborhood who is patient reviewed and fits their needs and schedule just right.
We love to see it. You guys can go to ZocDoc.com/full and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/full. ZocDoc.com/full. Okay, so our next topic has to do with the Kardashians. So allegedly, Anna Wintour is not inviting any of the Kardashians, as well as she's cut way more people than them, but any of the people to the Met Gala this year. So she was asked about it in an article, and she did not specifically say she's not, but it was basically no comment. It was like no comment whenever she was asked, instead of saying, yes, everyone's invited. It was no comment. So it was like answered the question in that way, which is very interesting because she's tightening up the list. And I think I think all influencers will probably not be invited as well.
Same. I would assume that if the Kardashians aren't going, then probably influencers wouldn't be going either.
Right. So, and I think that that's the biggest conversation, because there's probably a lot of smaller celebrities that aren't going to get invited too. I'm sure, like
not A-list. Like if you're not A-list, then you wouldn't be invited. Going.
And I think the biggest conversation, because the Kardashians shut down the Met Gala every year. Kim would walk in last, and like honestly, she would look great. Yeah, she'd be like by far like the most talked about person there every year. So it spikes a big conversation. I'm really interested as to why she decided to do it now, after they've been having the Kardashians and influencers and D-list celebrities for years.
Do you think it's post Kanye? Did you see any comments about that?
I did.
I did too, and I was very intrigued by that, saying that like that Kanye has such a pulse on fashion, that because him and Kim aren't together anymore, that's why Kim's not invited.
Then I wouldn't have wanted to go anyway. If
For real.
Only reason
that's why
I'm there is because of who I'm married to. Then it's like, what's the point anyways if I'm not there? Because
but that's how she started going.
Yeah,
was because she was Kanye's.
So they're like
+1.
The year they're divorced, all of a sudden, because she's gone year after year after year. So it just begs the question, like, why this year?
Yeah. And do you feel like, okay, so this is also part of a bigger conversation about the Kardashian Jenners in general, is that people are saying, this is in the grapevine, that they're losing their relevancy. Like the time of the Kardashians and Jenners is no longer here. People care a lot less than they used to care before.
I've actually obviously have seen this a ton on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. See, also a great source of news.
Yeah, when it's factual.
Real. Yeah, when
but
it's
all
factual.
apps have false news. But I have seen that a lot, and I'll be honest, besides this Hailey Bieber, Kylie Jenner, Jenner, I did say that right, Selena Gomez feud, I haven't really heard anything.
It's been crickets.
It's been crickets for the Kardashians, but there's this part of me that's like, I feel like the Kardashians are doing it on purpose. Maybe a break, maybe something bigger's coming for the future. I don't know, because I feel like at any point they want to be relevant, they snap their fingers and they're relevant.
Right, and I think that a big part of it too, like for example, I know like the reason that people are saying these things is like, for example, Kourtney recently cutting off all her hair and dying blonde. No one gave a fuck.
No one cared.
No one talked about it. Potentially that Khloe is back with Tristan now, and has been for months. We're exhausted.
Tired.
No one cares anymore.
We're exhausted.
Kylie renaming her child's name. No one cares.
Didn't even know that happened.
Wanting to rename it to, instead of from Wolf to Air. And all these things, it's like they aren't getting talked about like they once did, even for things that they would have been talked about before.
Totally.
That's why people are kind of like, wait, what's going on with and the ratings are down for the show.
Oh.
So I think that's why the conversation has gotten to where it's gotten. I personally think that they'll never go away.
I don't either. I don't either.
They are iconic, and like you can say what you want about them regardless, but I think that they have built such names for themselves and for their family, and Kris has done the same exact thing for their whole family for so long that I just don't think that they can just like get snapped and it's they're gonna be gone. Like that's not gonna be the case. I think that they might maybe not be as popular as right now and they once were, but that doesn't mean
that's like a
they go
natural
away.
flow of fame.
Life.
That's
And
life
fame.
and fame. Like that is a very natural flow. It's like ebbs and weaves of relevancy. But with them, I get it because the relevancy has ran for 20 years, just like consistent relevancy.
Yeah.
And it's just like now you do see a slight dip in it. And it's interesting. This is the year too that they won't be at the Met Gala, which is obviously one of the biggest things that was talked about with them. So it's just like interesting how that goes. You know what I mean?
It just seems people care less. And it's crazy because I feel like people care more about Kylie and Kendall.
Yeah.
Than it feels like they care about like Courtney, Chloe,
Kim.
and Kim.
It's because they're younger.
And because I think because they're younger. Like even like, Kendall potentially dating Bad Bunny.
Oh, that's big.
That's a huge thing. That's a huge, source of information. But again, that's because they're more in the headlines and it feels like the Kardashians are. It feels like more Jenner-y, less Kardashian-y.
Like the
recently
shading of, Selena Gomez was also a Kardashian thing.
Yes.
With Kylie, just huge in the headlines. And it's crazy how much blowback Kendall got for that when she technically had nothing to do with any of it. But she's like, you're best friends with them. So
totally, you're in it.
Yeah, you're in it too. But it's just like interesting how that played out. I was like, dang, she's getting so much hate and she's just like over here.
Isn't it wild to see like Hailey kind of doing her thing?
Hailey just really
living.
doesn't care.
She's just like kind of going through it. She's like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'm going to continue to be me. She's at like the Vanity Fair party. She was at she was doing her thing. And I'm like, honestly, at this point, like, you kind of got to just do your own thing.
She's always been hated. Like when they were at the Met Gala, she got booed so hard by Selena's fans. So this, I'm sure to her, she's just like, they're at it again. You know
like,
what I mean? It is what it is. Like I'm not like sticking up for their behavior by any means, but at the end of the day, facts are facts. And she's probably just like, we've been
another day, another dollar.
But let's go ahead and give a congrats to our girl, Selena Gomez, for being the first girl to hit 400 million followers on Instagram.
We got to give it to you, Miss Selena. We got to keep an eye out for Selena.
We got to always keep an eye out for Selena.
Always. And we will, because we love her.
We do. And we're stans. And she's out here doing her thing. Say what you want to say. Shade her if you want to shade her. We like her eyebrows, and we're happy she's doing her thing.
And her eyebrows look amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even care if they were over laminated. They looked good, even over laminated.
Sure did.
I'm like, damn, they look slay.
She said, talk about unbothered.
No, truly. She's like, you know what? I'm fine.
You know what? I'll just go over here with my 400 million followers. I'll just be over here
to stay as relevant as
with my few 400 million followers. She said,
literally,
I'll be chilling.
I'll be fine. Thank you guys.
So we had another crazy thing that happened. Okay, it wasn't that crazy.
Not crazy.
Gwyneth Paltrow, my girl. Where's Gwen been?
She's been living in goop land.
She's been in goop land.
She's been getting goop land.
She's been getting gooped. Miss Paltrow.
She's been getting gooped. Lord, that's funny for some reason.
She goes on a podcast and she's asked about her health routine, and she lays out her diet, which left the world stunned. Speechless. We're like, ma'am.
I was a little speechless myself.
Okay, there was one thing about this I kind of like. If you would have put this diet out there in the 90s, people would have tried to copy her and it would have praised her for it.
Right.
You put that shit out there in 2023 and you're getting wrecked because of how insane it is, and people will call you on it. So I feel like it's like showing an evolution of people. They're not buying. Not that Gwyneth was trying to sell people on something, but they're not buying into the celebrity crap like they used
100%.
to.
And I genuinely feel like Gwen was not trying to push it.
No, she was asked a question.
And she answered.
And she answered it honestly.
So what happened with the situation is basically she did the interview. She talked about her morning routine, what she does. She likes to go on a fast. And then let's do the routine. Let's say what the routine is.
So
fast in the morning.
Till 12 o'clock. But during that fast, she has plain black coffee because it doesn't spike her blood sugar. So at this point, till noon, only black coffee, 1 cup of black coffee. And then for lunch, she does soup. Bone broth soup. Not
like hearty soup, bone broth.
So liquid lunch. And then she does a workout. And I'm just like,
how does she not faint?
First of all,
genuinely,
what is going on?
How are you even functioning as a human being when you've had bone broth and coffee and you're doing an entire workout, then going to the sauna after doing dry brushing?
For 30 minutes. For 30 minutes.
Make it make
infrared
sense.
sauna. I would vanish off planet Earth. First of all,
Laura, we would evaporate.
And then
after,
there's no snacks are mentioned, which is interesting. And then so I'm like liquid until dinner, and then for dinner a paleo diet, and paleo is just anything that cavemen, no processed foods.
The caveman diet.
You know, just like anything that was not processed. So
veggies and meat.
She specifically said lots of veggies. And that's that. And everybody was left
speechless,
stunned.
Like,
and I'm not gonna lie, she got freaking wrecked online and ripped. And then she had to go and make a statement about what she said about her diet. And she basically was like, I was not trying to get other people to do this diet. You know, this is something that works for me in my health journey right now. And I was just telling people what I'm doing. But honestly, I don't know, maybe she did lead with that, but I probably would have been like, I strongly discourage this diet for other people. I'm having these wrong, you know, I probably would have led with something like that.
She has long COVID.
Okay.
So that was like a big reason as to why she's doing this, because she's consulted with her doctor, and this is why she's like, this is what I've been discussing with my doctor, and that this is for my inflammation because of long COVID.
I just can't imagine a doctor.
I can't either. I mean, who knows? Especially because she is a little bit older. So I'm like, I don't understand.
Not to deny her truth at all. I'm just like, I just cannot.
It's baffling.
It is baffling. I'm like, I cannot imagine a doctor telling me this is what you need to do.
This is gonna be great for your inflammation.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm gonna be inflated.
Baby, roll me out and hit the pinballs.
Girl.
I'd rather be inflated.
Starved to death. Starved. And we're not doing it in 2023.
No, we're eating.
So I guess it's nice because I feel like, you know, back into other times, people would have been like, oh, this is how you lose all this weight, or this is how you do this. And 100%. Now people are like, oh, hell no. You know,
we ain't doing it.
They're very aware. So at least I can appreciate that about it. But poor Gwenny.
Poor Gwenny.
Poor Gwenny got ate
Goopy.
up. Poor Goopy. She got ate up.
Ate the fuck up.
But she did say that
she's not recommending it. She's like, I'm not recommending this to you guys either, by the way.
She did say, it was so cute whenever she was like coming back and making a statement on how she got ripped up. She was like, I mean, there are times where I eat other things like French fries. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Bless it. Bless her. She's in her La La Land, though.
Yes.
Like, she's living in her life. Like, let her live.
The few, like, A-listers I've been around, I promise you nothing's normal. Like, they all just have a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of people doing things for them. So they have very quirky routines.
Their reality is not the same reality as our
It's
reality.
not. Look at Kourtney Kardashian and her shit. Like, getting her vagina like, everything is so different. And
very
even,
different.
like, know a few people that, I know very few, but a few people that are, like, multi-millionaires. And they got weird shit going on.
100%. They always are.
They always do.
They always do.
They
like the rich ones are like, y'all are weird.
They got some weird shit going on, you know?
Really weird.
Really
doesn't
weird
even make
shit.
sense.
So
I can't.
God bless you, Gwen.
God bless you.
Do your thing, girl. Spencer Pratt.
Call her daddy.
Ooh, that was good though. That was good.
Everything.
It was everything.
You guys, this story, like when I watched it, I was like this. So Spencer Pratt, who was in The Hills, did an interview with Alex from Call Her Daddy.
Yep.
And she asked him a question and was like, so since you're not as relevant as you once were, how do you feel about that exactly? Which I do feel like is a very rough question to be asked. It was, because
she said, and he tried to navigate it, and then she goes, but you must feel some type of way knowing you'll never be as relevant as you once were. Like, she really...
She was putting salt on the wound.
She was.
For sure. No one ever wants to hear you're not as relevant as you once were. It's just a rude thing to say.
It is. It's
Naturally,
a rude thing.
rude.
But Alex gets so much shit for not being aggressive enough in her interviews with these big celebrities. She gets wrecked every time. And I'm like, honestly, I think she does a freaking amazing job. So she's probably trying to push the boundaries now.
Definitely. And I think it's like one of those things where it's like, you're going to push because people are praising your accolades of the pushing, and then you might push a little too far and then be like, hey, you might want to slow it down, and like, okay, cool, let me dial it back a little bit. So this is one of those things where it's like maybe just a potential check for her. It's like, oh, you know what, I might have been like a dick in the situation, and I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. But she asked him that, and he like drinks his little drink.
He thought for a minute.
He's like, you know what, let me think. And he gets up and he storms out and he's like, fuck this fucking podcast,
and fuck you,
and storms out. And she was like this, stunned. I was stunned.
People said it was planned.
Do you think it was?
This is why I don't, because I watched Laguna Beach. I watched The Hills. I actually rewatched the whole thing within these past 2 years. So it's a little more fresh for me. This is extremely Spencer Pratt behavior, and it's consistent, and his behavior has always been exactly this. That's why
Storm
I don't
out
think.
vibes.
Oh my God!
Like so he's like that.
I'm surprised he didn't flip a table over and then start. Yes, this is.
I never watched, so I'm like, is that like a normal?
And I'm not gonna lie, I follow Spencer Pratt on TikTok. Actually, do I follow him? But he's very entertaining because he's very blunt.
He'll give.
He will
give what they want to see.
He's so good for TV. And I don't know if you can say like he'll never be as relevant again, because things people get rewound and recycled nowadays. People get recycled. They do big time. Like we recycle celebrities all the time in the way of like they kind of have their dead moment
and
and
they have like something come out.
Look at Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, hello.
So you could say the same thing about her years ago, and she's bigger than she's ever been.
I know, literally.
She's in more big movies than she has ever been. So it's like you can't really say he's never going to be as relevant as he once was, technically. But I think she was trying to poke the bear.
She was.
Because Spencer is going to pop off, and I think it would have been good.
She wanted it.
And it's even good for her that he walked out, because we're talking about it.
Exactly. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, damn, like you really decided to go in. But it's also like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, that's her podcast. She wanted to ask these questions, and she felt like she could in that moment.
What if someone said that to you? I feel like I would navigate the questions to walk out. I would have just navigated it. But see, we're level-headed. Okay. So, Manny MUA, it must really bother you, though, that you're never going to be as relevant as you once were.
I actually love it. And the reason is because I feel like I get my life back.
Oh.
And so that's the route I would go into. It's like I would go into the, you know what, like I might not be as relevant as I once was, but because of that, I get more time for me. I'm not so focused on social media. I'm not focused on my relevancy all the time. I'm focusing on me and my life.
I would say my life is more peaceful now without that relevancy, but I still get to reap the rewards of being an influencer.
Same.
So I now live actually the best of both worlds, being less relevant. So it's kind of better for me.
But still making money.
And that's it. That's all you had to do.
And that's all you really have to say. I feel like that's all you have to do.
But we're pretty level-headed.
True.
And Spencer's known to be a hothead.
True. And we're not, neither of us are hotheads. We are very like together.
Yeah.
We have our shit together. You like aren't going to catch us slipping in a moment. We're going to be like,
I'll be like, and when your podcast dies off and you're not relevant, call me.
Oh my God. Look,
I can help you.
That would be so
campy and cunty. And it would give it spice. You know what I mean?
Like, well, you'll realize what it is in 3 years.
When it happens in 3 years, call me.
Give a little
and we
shade
can get
back.
together. Yeah, throw a little shade back.
Throw a little shade.
And have fun with it. Don't storm and say fuck you and walk out, dude.
But then I feel like it gives like, that also is very camp for the podcast. Like it's very like
that's why I was like,
dramatic.
Alex, you're still a smart girl, because that worked.
Sure.
Girl, that worked.
It worked. She got like a reaction regardless.
Maybe it's a shorter episode.
Right. It might not be as long, but he walked down those stairs. The camera followed him and went, did
it?
Yes, it did.
I didn't.
At the end of it, he went just down the little stairs. I was shook.
Oh, I love it.
I was gagged.
I'm a big Call Her Daddy fan, and I feel like we have like this strong woman like leading a podcast with massive celebrities. And I'm kind of eating it up, and I kind of hate whenever she gets backlash because it's just not good enough. You know what I mean? I'm like, look what she turned that thing into. It's like
it's amazing. It's the amount of celebrity she's gotten on there.
It's amazing.
To actually spill.
I know.
And maybe spill it on her podcast.
I know. Because she has this friendly, she typically doesn't hit that hard, but she did that time. But she's
asking questions that people try to avoid.
Yes.
So that's what I like about her a lot. And honestly, like I do get inspired by her for even our podcast.
Totally.
I really do. Things that she implements in hers, I'm like, I want to implement something like that with mine. Me and Laura even talked about recently, like implementing some different things with our podcast when we have guests. So I'm like, yeah, dude, absolutely. Like I want our podcast to be fucking amazing and sickening and wonderful. And that's how else are you going to be able to do that without implementing some changes?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, good for you, Alex. Yeah. All right. Next on our list.
No, Laura, the way you trailed that when you're like, yeah, well, good for you. And then it paused, Alex. That was so good. Next topic.
La Roach. La Roach quits the fashion industry.
The whole fashion industry. He made that post like is full like, X across, I'm not doing it anymore. La Roach is a fashion stylist, very famous fashion stylist, one of the biggest in the entire world. Does Zendaya,
Meg Thee
Stallion. He does so many humongous A-list stars. He does Hunter Schafer. Does amazing artists and is very, very talented.
They always somehow look the best.
They always look the best.
They always look the best.
And they always look amazing. So recently he actually posted that there has been industry things behind the scenes as to why he wants to quit the industry now, which I was like, oh shit. I was a little gooped and gagged.
Me too.
Because, so there was like, did you see that clip with the Zendaya clip about the front row thing? So there was a viral clip that went around and people were pointing it on this. So they're like, this is why Roach is quitting. So there was a clip where Zendaya gets ushered into a fashion show and she sits front row next to like Emma Stone potentially. I don't know who it is. She's like, hey, and there's no seats left and Law is right behind her and he was expecting to sit next to her. What it looked like. He's like,
of course.
And he's like, and Zendaya's like, oh, like right here, sit right here, like behind her in like the seat. And he's like, looking around, like trying to be like, where the fuck am I gonna sit? Like I'm a front row bitch. So a lot of people are saying like, because then literally like a couple days after, boom, I'm quitting. It became like this, like, oh my God, are you quitting? Because
they're speculating.
It was speculation.
That he's not getting respect in the industry.
Yes. And so he ended up making a statement and be like, bitch, me and Zendaya are family. Like, it will never be, like, there's no, like, battle between me and Zendaya. Like, I love her more than life. It was not that at all. Like, there's just a lot of, like, politics that go on behind in the fashion world, which I can totally see. It's such a huge billion-dollar company. But it's crazy because I hope that he doesn't stop styling Zendaya.
I know.
I'll be devastated.
I know.
Because I really love the way he, like, her shape is so perfect and the way he styles her is really just something else.
It's just never ending flawlessness.
It's perfection. But like, you know, when looking at it, you can look at it and be like, he's so entitled, he's so this and this and that. And it's like, if he's such a big head in fashion, which he is, why would he not feel like he deserves that spot?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he deserve to feel like he deserves it? He works with so many brands, with so many huge people. Like, why wouldn't he?
And it's like, okay, it's just a seat. You're sitting one row back. But in fashion, it's kind of like what they live for. It's kind of like the moment. It's kind of like the whole point in going, just show up and be on front. You know what I mean? So if you're so involved in that world, I think it's bigger than that.
Agreed.
Whereas to us, maybe not.
Agreed.
And that was our last topic for this week.
It was lovely. There's a bunch of like little random topics.
Yeah, I know. It was like little stuff, but very interesting. So let us know what you guys think about everything.
And you guys know we love to hear you guys' comments. We want to sound off down below. You guys know we love the tea, the 411, the goss.
Don't forget to rate, like, and subscribe. And we will catch you guys in our next podcast.
Bye, you guys. Love you.
Mwah.